Hey everyone, welcome to Craven Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Now in this video, I'm going to discuss today's article on Bloody Disgusting, where we get some new exclusive images from Halloween Ends. Also, included in the article is an interview with writer-director David Gordon Green as he shares some new information about the 4-year time gap between Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. And we also hear from Jamie Lee Curtis, who gives us more insight into her character, Laurie Strode. Let's go! So Bloody Disgusting released a new Halloween Ends article today, packed with some killer info and new images. And the headline reads, Halloween Ends, 3 new images give us a clear look at Michael Myers 4 years after Kills. And the article begins, Halloween Ends is coming to theaters and Peacock on October 14th. The film taking place 4 years after the events of Halloween Kills and promising the final fight between Michael and Laurie. What were they up to in those last 4 years, you might be wondering? Director David Gordon Green explains to Total Film that Laurie Strode has finally found herself in a better place. As for Michael, well, it sounds like we'll never really know where he's been. So David Gordon Green then reveals, we don't really explain that. David Gordon Green tells the magazine, it's like, I don't want to see where Jaws goes to sleep at night when I'm watching a shark movie. I want to see him when he pops up and he's got an appetite. Okay, so my initial thoughts when I first read this was, I'm 100% behind that. I like the idea of there not being too much revealed. I like the mystery aspect of not knowing a lot about Michael. I don't really want to know every single day, his routine, what he's been doing every day these last 4 years. I really don't care about knowing that level of detail. However, I will say this though, the more I've thought about it, the more I do kind of lean towards the side of saying, well, show us something. You don't have to give us the whole scenario and rundown of what happened and where and how he survived. But I would like to see at least something during that 4-year period regarding Michael, not just Laurie and Allison, the town, but actually give us at least a little snapshot and a flashback or some type of a sequence where we have an idea. Like, okay, so that's where Michael's been living. That's how he's been surviving, what he's been up to in this 4-year gap. Whether he's in the sewers, which it looks like he's going to be in the sewers, just show us a little bit of that. I would be satisfied with just, a minute or two at the most on screen, just to kind of catch us up and say, oh, okay, that's where Michael's been. That's what he's been up to. So that's just me personally. It sounds like we're not going to probably get that, although it's possible we could in some type of a flashback scenario. We may get a little piece of that. David may not be sharing everything in this interview, obviously. So I'm going to hold out a little bit of hope that we'll get that. But if we don't, it's not a deal breaker for me on whether, I'm going to like this movie. It's not going to be a deal breaker that either way, that as far as me saying, yes, that was a good movie or that was not a good movie. At the worst case scenario, it'll just be one of those little nitpicky things that I come away with after seeing the movie, potentially, but we'll have to wait and see. So that's the latest scoop on Michael Myers. Now let's read Jamie Lee Curtis's comments on Laurie Strode. Jamie Lee Curtis tells Total Film, on the other hand, by the time you meet Laurie Strode, she has gotten help to process the level of violence that has been perpetrated against her and her family. She's done the work. And there's a moment at the beginning of the movie where you actually meet Laurie. I'm not going to say she's as innocent as she was back when she was a 17-year-old girl but she has a layer of hope about her. So this quote from Jamie Lee Curtis really just reinforces what we've already been talking about here on the channel regarding Laurie Strode in this movie. Clearly, she has gotten some help that she needs. As again, Jamie Lee points out here, by the time you meet her, she's gotten help. She's gotten help to process, this level of violence. And so I'm glad that she has, and the character. And I'm glad that she's in a better place, and that she's kind of working on overcoming all of these things that has happened to her. One of the things that I've been predicting since Scene Kills really, is that this is probably one of those movies where Jamie Lee is going to be taking that more, or Laurie, I should say, is kind of taking on that role more of dealing with the issues, processing them, and not being consumed by them. Whereas I do think Allison will be having that consumed personality regarding Michael, wanting revenge, wanting to avenge her mom's death and all these things. So I think that there definitely could be a shift there. But at least on this portion, Jamie Lee continues to confirm what we've been suspecting. And she says, there's a layer of hope about her. So she's worked through all that's happened and has gotten help. And so now she's going to be in a much better place. Of course, that's also going to make for a much more tragic ends because she comes from that place where she's finally, has hope. She's kind of got a grip on her emotions and her experiences, only to have them ripped up in half and shredded now when Michael comes back in this one. So anyway, we'll see, what's going to happen here as all of that hope is just completely destroyed in this movie when Michael returns. And it leaves me with this final quote here from Jamie Lee. It's a very intriguing quote that she says here. It says, "That's a beautiful place to start a really tragic, incredibly violent ending." Now that's a very interesting quote, and it's got my mind going because she's been promising for a while that this is gonna mess you up, this is gonna take people off, and all these things. And we've heard all these different descriptions from Nick Castle, David Gordon Green, and right down the line. So here we go. This is a beautiful place to start a really tragic, incredibly violent ending. So for Laurie's character, I see the arc, instead of the arc going down and then coming up, I see the arc for her starting high, and then just by the end of this movie, Laurie has descended back down to the depths. Is what I think is going to happen. So an incredibly tragic, start a really tragic, incredibly violent ending, and that's how the movie's going to end. That's where we're heading. We're heading to that moment of a tragic, violent ending, and I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up with Laurie dying for sure. If she dies in this movie, she does not survive it. We'll see. We'll see. That's kind of where I see it going, though. I really do. And finally, guys, to wrap up this video, let's get into these 3 new images real quick. Take a look at these, and then we'll call it a day. All right. So next up, we have this image here, which I absolutely love. This is definitely the house where it looks like the finale is going to take place, because all of the new images, the spots for the TV spots, everything is all pointing us to this house. And you'll notice the wallpaper there throughout the house as the different images are shown. And of course, that front door, very memorable as well, where we see multiple shots from not only here, but in the trailer and other still shots like Jamie Lee Curtis has posted on her Instagram. This is definitely the place. I'm willing to hedge all my bets that this is the finale of the movie. This is where it's all going to end up and come down to. And this is just a great shot of Michael coming through that room there, probably seeking to destroy whoever is in the house, making noise, perhaps. Maybe they don't see him, don't know he's there, but as an audience, we do. So that's the first image here of Michael downstairs. And the next image we have is him coming downstairs. So again, remember, these things are filmed all out of chronological order. So you can't try to figure out anything by that. You just got to look at each image and take it for what it's worth. And here, again, there's the wallpaper. So we know it's the same house. And Michael's coming down the stairs. And he could have heard something here. I'm guessing the way he's looking, he's heard voices or fumbling around the kitchen, whatever. Something has alerted him to come downstairs. And you notice there's also blood on the knife. So whoever was upstairs here is probably dead. So someone has already been killed, I'm guessing, right now before this scene upstairs in the house. Now he's coming downstairs to try and find out who else is there and who else is going to get that knife landed in their backs or their throats, whatever the course may be. But anyway, great shot of Michael, killer shot. Love the blues, the look of it, the blues. It all comes together nicely there. All right, so let's take a look. Finally, we have this image here. This is the final new image showing Michael and Laurie battling it out in the kitchen. Now, notice this does take place during the day. You see the window on the left and the sunshine reflecting in on the right on the cabinet. So perhaps this is the morning after Halloween. Maybe Halloween, they're up all night dealing with all this murder and mayhem. Yeah, I think it's a real good chance this is that, again, the morning after Halloween, the sun has come up and Laurie looks like she is beat. I mean, look at that. The look on her face. She looks tired. She's clearly been attacked already. She's got a couple of cuts already on her face. She just looks tired in this shot. So I could see this really being overnight and it's the morning time. The fight is still going on and she's determining whether it's the real Michael or not the real Michael, all these things. But at this point, she'll know she's already been attacked. She's already seen the fingers. So I suspect 100% this is the real Michael that is attacking her here. And so the only question I have, though, is where is Michael's knife? There's no knife in his right hand. His right hand is completely open. And granted, they're not showing us the left. They're being careful there. But my question is, where's the knife? Did he drop it? Did she just knock it out of his hand? Where might it be? And who has it, if anyone? Maybe she's got it. Maybe that's what we can't see is she's holding the knife right now to Michael while he's like kind of backing up there a little bit with his hand up. That's a possibility as well. Hard to say with these single shots, but it does look cool. It looks fun, and I'm ready for this movie to come out. All right, everyone. I want to know, what do you think about this article and these new images? I want to hear your opinions, your thoughts, ideas, and theories down in the comments section below about what you expect to see as a result of these images, these sneak peeks, if you will, into the film. So let me know what you guys think. Start leaving your comments below right now, and let's start discussing it together. Well, guys, that is going to be all for this update, but I'll be back soon with more Halloween Ends and other horror movie content. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, this is Craven Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Thanks for watching.